Welcome back to Love and Freedom. Hey, today we're going to talk about something that every traveler needs to know. And we're going to talk about those power adapters. Because the last thing you want is to land in a new country, go to plug up your phone or your laptop, and nothing fits. That's right, nothing fits. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the types of power outlets used in places that we travel, such as Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, the Philippines, Colombia, Brazil, Hong Kong, and Mexico. So I'll be showing you just a different type of variety of surge protectors, that could possibly be useful to you so that your gear can stay safe no matter where you are venturing out to. So I'm going to start out talking to you guys about, it's not going to be in any particular order. It's just going to be just like, places that we travel. So I'm going to bounce around a little bit. But just to give you guys a general idea of places that we went to and what surge protectors that we use. Basically, I use one type of surge protector. And it is a adapter and a surge protector all in one, as I showed you earlier. So in Jamaica, you'll find that they have like some of the same outlets in the US, type A and type B. That's like two flat panel pins or two with the ground, such as I showed you earlier. Let's see. This one right here. Two flat panels. Like in the US, Jamaica has as two flat panels that you can see, two flat pins or a surge protector ground right there. They have this basically your standard normal size plug that we have in the US. Or you can go, if you don't want to plug in with the ground, they have this plug as well. The regular flat plug right there, use a ground standard size, standard US plug. Let me see if we turn around this way so you can see it. Yeah. Standard US plug right here. And those are basically like the ones in Jamaica, which the voltage runs about around 110 volts to 50 hertz. So if you're coming from the States, you're already good. You don't need a converter. You good. But bring a compact surge protector like this one, that can also help you perfect when you're like for the beaches, the hotels, and the Airbnbs that you're staying in. This is what we always travel with. Just wanted to let you know that this works great. This works wonders. Next up, going over to the Dominican Republic. Their plugs are basically the same as Jamaica, US. Type A, type B, voltage 110 to 60 hertz, something of that matter. So same deal. The US charger. And your gear will work fine in the Dominican Republic. Now, if your device has 3 plugs, not all outlets accept the ground pin. Bring such like this, the 3 to 2 pin adapter, just in case. This right here is a lifesaver. This one right here is a lifesaver. So you don't have to really worry about that so much. And before I go to the next one, I'm going to show you guys just I'm going to show you some of the adapters when I was talking about type A, type B, type adapters, so you'll get a general idea of what some of the plugs look like as we go along. So I'm going to share some of those diagrams with you by country. So we're going to start out with the DR, showing you some of the Jamaica and the DR, pretty much. All right, right here, what I'm showing you here is type A. These are the typical type A, just the standard 2 plugs, like we have in the States. They are pretty much standard, like all the plugs in the US. Some may have ground plugs, some may not, or just have the 2 regular plugs just to plug in. If they don't have the adapter, if they don't have the ground plug, like here, they don't have the ground plug, then you have to use your surge protector here to plug in, so you can plug in and get the 3 ground into, like a computer is going to have the 3 ground. So you're going to need this because some of the places don't have ground outlet, 3 plugs. They only have the 2 standard plugs, type A. And then you get over to the type B. What I was just talking to you about is the one with the typical, what you're used to seeing in the US, a standard plug with a ground. That's actually considered as a ground wire in that plug. So that's the type B. Then we move over to the type C. Type C is typical of what you will see also over there. And I think in Japan as well, and in the European countries, they used the type C, like this on this one. They use the type C, that long adapter sticking out of there, the type C. Those are the type C that they use in European as well. So you'll get those type of plugs in Jamaica or the DR, depending on where you're at. And then you see that's just the other standard flat, but it is 3, like this one right here. Let me put this back down so you can see it. Like this one right here, the typical. Put this one inside so you can get that out the way so you can see it better. This little thing can be stubborn too, but hey, it works. It works miracles. See if I can push this in. There we go. Lock it so you can see it from the side. And this one right here is the one, like I said, we use is typically in Jamaica or the DR. Depending on where you're at, depending on the place, if they're modern, they're updated, then you'll be able to use those types of plugs. And Thailand, they use it A, B, C, F, and O plugs. You have 5 different kinds. The most, the commons are maybe the C and the O, which I just showed you, the C plug, which just has the 2 little European ports. What I was showing you, just the 2 little European sticking out like that. That is a type that you would find common over in Thailand as well. So there runs from 220 to 230 volts, 50 hertz, and make sure your devices are dual voltage, like this one right here. Like I said, this is a lifesaver right here. This one right here, you can't go wrong with it. This one has just about everything you're going to need traveling. This one right here is international. I call it International Universal Surge Protector Traveler right here. This is this right here going to save you right here. Not 100% of that save you, but for the most part it will, because you got to be careful. Like places such as the DR where the power tend to go in and out a lot. You have a lot of power outages. You got to think about when that power come back on, it's going to shoot a big power surge. And I'm going to show you a video later on about that. It'll shoot a big power surge, and that power surge is going to come through your computer. It's going to come through that surge protector, and maybe too much, and your surge protector may not trigger. Or you have one of those standard household power outlet protector. It may not. I carry one of those as well. And I carry additional extension cords just in case I want a longer extension cord to plug into my surge protector, just in case the desk or the computer, I don't want it too far from me, and I didn't want to keep it on the charge. I would have an extension cord with me. I would have a couple of different surge protector chargers. I'll see where I'm going, make sure I have the proper voltage, and I have a power strip at the same time. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think that the power strip and surge protectors are the same thing. They are not. Power strips are power strip, as they say, and surge protectors are surge protectors. But you got to be careful when you go into a place where the power outage is always in and out. It can shoot a big surge through there and fry your device. I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm just telling you, it happens. It can fry your device. So if you got that expensive laptop or computer, I carry my little gaming computer laptop as that's what I do most of my editing on. I don't have the desktop. I don't use the desktop. I use the laptop, which is a gaming laptop. I'm sorry. Hell, it wasn't cheap at all. I mean, it costs about $1,700-$1,800. That's not cheap, to be just taking this away and let them get fried. So protect your belongings, because it definitely will fry it. It would definitely fry it if you're not careful. So best to just use a universal charger adapter, like I just showed you, This one right here, once again, you're gonna get tired of seeing this, but this right here will save you. Then Cambodia. We're going to Cambodia. Cambodia has the A, the C, and G outlet. Their voltage run from 230, 50 hertz. So make sure it can handle the 220, which this can. It can hold the 220 volts. This can handle it. This one is perfect. Once again, this is very good, especially if you're charging your cameras and your laptop. You want to have this on hand. Vietnam, for the most outlets, they use A and C, basically, and a typical F voltage 220, once again, to 50 hertz. Let's see. I have also the Philippines is another place. Now let's not forget about the Philippines. They have outage. They have brown outage, which can also set a big surge up to your computer. And you don't want to risk being fried, because a lot of surge protectors don't protect. It may be surge protectors, but they don't stop all that high surge of voltage coming through there. That's why you see sometimes your surge protectors, home surge protectors, burn out, or they get flimsy where they're easy to trigger. That's because at the time it wears out, you're supposed to replace them, So. And another tip, they said, many hotels in Manila, Cebu, they have combo outlets that fits both round and flat pins, like I just showed you. They have both of them. So carry this one and you should be fine. I think I covered, Brazil. I didn't cover all of them. Let's back up. Colombia. Colombia has A type and B type. There's 110 voltage to 60 hertz. Basically, US device can plug straight into the Colombian Sting. We didn't have no issue with them as well. But like I said, I didn't have issue anywhere because I always had this with me. Now, Brazil is a different type of beast. I had to go and buy plugs for Brazil. I had to go buy the adapter on Brazil, because Brazil is definitely a different type of an adapter, which I did not have. So I had to go out and get one for Brazil, which was, I think it was this one. If I can find it. Yeah, Brazil was this one. I had to go get this one, the end plug for Brazil. This is the one I had to go run around and look for in Brazil to get this plug. It's the end plug, type N. It's a little funny looking 3-prong, 2 to the side, 1 in the middle, kind of like a US plug, but it's more flat. The pins are almost lined up. So in Brazil, you're going to need an end plug in Brazil. That's totally different. They have different outlets, different looks. As you can see, the comparison between the end plug and the A, B, and C type. Yeah, totally different. Totally different in Brazil. So make sure you have an N-type plug for Brazil if you're traveling to Brazil. Hong Kong was the type G, which is the big square pins like the UK, what I just showed you, the 2 little square. Hong Kong is 220 to 230, 50 hertz as well. So, and here in Mexico, we have the standard US plugs as well, plug and play type. But once again, they have power outages, and you can get that big surge, and you don't want to fry your computer and burn your computer out. So you want to make sure you have all the things that you need for surge protectors. Make sure your coverage, and get your universal adapter like this, which works almost in every country, 150 countries plus, and it has a built-in fuse and a surge inside. So if this fries, it won't work again. So best to get you one of those. Pull it up here. I had a video for you guys. Normally, I always show you guys a video so you can, get an understanding of what I'm talking about on the different types of devices. So pay attention in this video about what they're saying about you are not always protected. In this video is stating that. So check it out.
Should I get a surge protector? Or You know what? My computer blew up, but I had it on the surge protector. Shouldn't that have saved it? But in most cases, no. And here's the difference about power protection. Just a real brief layman's overview, just so you know the differences in the terminology and what each of these things can do and what they cannot do. So it starts with a surge protector, basically the power strip that you'll find anywhere. You can find them at all the big box stores, all the office stores, and just about any store for that matter. You can get it at your local drugstore now. And it starts with the power strip, and most of them offer some level of surge protection. What is surge protection? Meaning if there's a lightning strike or something happens and one of the transformers that your electric company uses happens to take a big surge and delivers that surge out to all the communities that are attached to it, all the homes that are attached to it, and delivers this crazy amount of power. And it usually happens during a thunderstorm or a lightning event. And it sends us all this giant power through there. Well, this thing is supposed to take the hit rather than having your electronic equipment get fried. So basically, it's an...
Let me stop you right there. You remember earlier I told you about in the Dominican Republic, power goes out like almost every day throughout depending on where you stand in the Dominican Republic. Goes out almost every day. You hear the generators kick in because of the way the infrastructure is set up in the Dominican Republic. Also, you got to think about in the Philippines, they have a lot of outage because they are still burning coal and other things to generate electricity. They don't have a government entity to provide a government assist for power. So they're going to have power outages depending on where you're at as well. Even when we were staying in, was it not Makati area? Was it Eastwood? I don't think we had a power outage. Yeah, we had a power outage in Eastwood, but they had their own generators, in that facility, in that building, that condo. So you have to be careful. Like I said, protect your computers and all your electronics because power, if you're traveling to these countries, they're going to have power outage. They're going to have power outage, and you're going to want to protect your assets as much as possible. Much as possible.
Intermediary. It's something in there to take the hit and sacrifice itself so your electronic stuff gets to live another day. Do they work? For the most part, they pretty much do. Some of them offer warranties on your stuff if somehow the thing's able to arc or get around it or through this thing, which does happen. It doesn't matter how much they cost to you. It's all power strips, even surge protectors do have the capability to have, if it's a big enough surge, it can arc across and get through just about anything. It's a great thing to have, absolutely. It's definitely a layer of protection, but it probably can't protect you against brownouts, against surges. And the important thing to remember about power strips, even with surge protection, is that they wear out after a while. The CNET's article tells us here they don't last forever. During a big power event or a surge, they'll start to wear out. The circuitry inside them actually begins to fail because it's sacrificing itself for your electronics. But it won't tell you that it's not working sometimes. Sometimes it won't be able to provide as much protection as it did when it's new. So some people recommend replacing these things every 6 months. Some people do it every season. It depends how much money you have wrapped up in your electric equipment and how much it costs to replace it. And if you have insurance and all that stuff. So surge protectors, highly recommend. But if you want to go one level up, what you want to do is get into a line conditioner. Now, companies like Furman, probably one of the most popular ones, will do something and they will take it one step further than a surge protector. It includes surge protection, but it actually monitors the power and makes sure that you're not having any weird power surges or brownouts. Kind of gives you a little bit of a temporary protection against electromagnetic interference and heavy-duty power surges. So these have capacitors inside, stores a little bit of power, and tries to condition that power, why it's called a power conditioner, to as close to a sine wave as it can. Then you can bump up to the, as you say, a lot of these things are rack mounted. These are typically found in, we used to have them in nightclubs, but a lot of computer servers run these things too. Now you get into power conditioners. And what this does is it has the capability inside in its electronics to kind of level out that power into a sine wave, or as close to a sine wave as a really good all powers and frequencies. And again, without going too deep, we always end up confusing people, so I'm trying not to do that anymore. And it's really hard to take a step back from this stuff, but I'm trying. So what it does is it conditions your power and tries to get it as safe as possible, something that your electronics are built to work with. And of course, you get into a couple $100s in these things, you could spend thousands on them once you get into the power conditioner. And they have a whole bunch of outlets here, and some of them you can even plug in your cable and stuff, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then at the top of this ballpark here, at the top of the gig, is your UPS, which is an uninterruptible power supply, which a lot of people have, which is a great thing to have. But most of the consumer grade ones are typically, they're really not power conditioners. It's something that will help you stop an instantaneous shutdown, meaning if you're recording something in a recording studio, it gives you a few minutes to shut everything down, save what you're working on, and computers also, which is very, very helpful. So what these guys do, the upper level, the UPS with a line conditioner, and again, these are professional series made by companies like CyberPower and other companies, which you can find online very easily. This particular one's just about $500. This is a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply, but it's also a power conditioner. So it's constantly monitoring the electricity comes from your electric company, making sure it's a good sine wave, and also in the event of a brownout, meaning when the power actually dips between your 110 and 120, it can actually provide a little bit of a boost, so it levels it out at 110, because you can get damage from being underpowered also, and also from the surge that comes in after you're being unpowered or underpowered. And also, if the power goes out, this provides a little bit of time, again, so you can turn your things off normally and avoid damage to hard drives and recording equipment. So we start out with the power strips, and then we kind of jack along through the power conditioners, and then we end up with the UPS with a power or a line conditioner, which is probably the top dog. If your electronic equipment is very, very important to you, then you probably want to invest into a power conditioner with a UPS. So if you have any questions or any
There you go. You know, as this guy just said, you got to think about it. If you have an expensive amount of equipment and electronics and you traveling with it, a lot of this, most of it, I would say, especially your laptops, they have what they have is enough current that's supposedly be the current that's required. If you're not getting the proper amount of current voltage going through it, is just as bad as having too much. So it can actually start causing your device to act up or start having multiple issues, or you start having your like your spamware and all that stuff to act funny because it thinks a virus or something trying to come through or whatever. So not having enough current going through is just as bad as having a big surge come through. And I want to give you guys another real quick, valuable tip. If you're in an area and you don't have the surge protector, travel international, go and get it ASAP. And the next time, even with this, I do. If there's a power outage and you have the opportunity, unplug your computer, your laptop and stuff ASAP. Because when they do come back on, most of the time, it's going to shoot a power surge through that device, and you don't want to take the chance of getting your device fried. So take my advice. If you have the opportunity to unplug it, and don't leave if you're not using your device, don't do like me sometime. I'll leave it plugged up overnight when we're traveling, knowing that it's a possibility of an outage, and I'm not going to wake up to go unplug it. So if you can help it and you understand how important it is to have those things unplugged during a power outage, then do all you can possible to protect your equipment. All right, guys. So I hope this video was helpful. If you need to go back and watch the video replay to check some of the adapters out, check out some of the ports to the different countries that was listed. If you got any questions about traveling to certain parts and you think I may be able to assist you with, come to the comment section, ask your questions, and I'll do my best to answer it. If not, I'll get with you and we'll try to answer it together. All right. So that being said, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you guys that's watching as always. Until the next one. Bye now. Peace. One love.